Hello, Prosperivarians. The best school has come to stay in the city of Calabar. It is called Beryl International School. Take advantage of this opportunity now.
Tell me the best school, Beryl is the best. Tell me the best school.
Good day, grade minds of grade 3. My name is Miss Jean. Today I'll be taking you on English language. Now, before I introduce the topic to you, have you had a situation where somebody comes to you and say or make an utterance that does not really make sense, or say something that does not really make sense? Like, dancing girl. And you'll be like, dancing girl did what? Somebody can also come up and say, before the building. And you're like, what does this person mean? The other person can still come up and say, treat up. All these utterances do not really make sense. But imagine that somebody comes up and tells you that, my mommy is outside waiting for you. Or, I am eating. Or, we are playing. I want to go outside. All these ones, they make sense. So that leads us to our topic today, which is phrases and clauses. What did I say? Phrases and clauses. I believe that this is not an unfamiliar topic to you, but a familiar one, especially when we talk about phrases. So today we are looking at phrases and clauses, and we are going to look at the differences between phrases and clauses. So, for a phrase is that utterance or statement that does not make sense. While a clause is a group of words that make sense. So I say that a phrase is a group of words that does not make sense, whereas a clause is a group of words that make sense. So we are going to write that. Right, I said a phrase is a group of words that does not make a complete sense. And we have here a clause is a group of words that makes a complete sense. We are going to look at the examples. Number 1, in a hurry. So we have here the examples: in a hurry, next month, the beautiful girl. Let's look at the examples of clauses. Number 1, so looking at it, we have the examples here for phrases, and these are the examples for clauses. Now, we have in a hurry. So number 1, Sade left in a hurry. Does it make sense? Yes, that is a clause, and it is a simple sentence, a sentence. Alright, we have number 2, next month. I will see you next month. Number 3, the beautiful girl is my sister. Now, this is the first point for phrases and clauses. Remember, we are looking at the differences between phrases and clauses. Number 2. Alright, number 2 says a phrase requires other words to stand on its own, while a clause does not require other words. Let's look at it. A phrase requires other words to stand on its own. A clause does not require other words. Let's use this example. Looking at it, number 1, in a hurry. You will say, what is in a hurry? Okay, so we say Sade left in a hurry. If you just meet somebody and say in a hurry, the person will not understand what you mean. So you now say, what do you say? What do you mean? Say, oh, Sade left in a hurry, and that makes sense. So, whereas a phrase requires other words to stand on its own, a clause does not require other words. A clause is a complete sentence. It makes sense. So this takes us to number 3. Number 3 point is that a phrase does not need a subject or a verb. It does not have a subject or a verb. But a clause has a subject and a verb. We are going to look at these examples. Alright, number 3, a phrase does not have a subject and a verb. While for a clause is a group of words in a sentence which contains a subject and a verb. What do we mean by subject and a verb? A subject is that part of the sentence that subject is that part of a sentence that performs an action, whereas the verb, you know already, is an action word. So if we look at a sentence like John is playing, we see John as a performer of that action, playing. Playing is an action. So who is playing? It is John. So I say that a clause is a group of words in a sentence which contains a subject and a verb. And I've told you that the subject performs an action while the verb is the action itself. Okay, we are going to now write the example on the board. So the number 3 point is a phrase does not have a subject and a verb, but for a clause has a subject and a verb. Let's look at the example for a phrase. We have here in a hurry. There is no subject here, there is no verb. Now this one will not make sense as I've told you earlier. But let's look at the example under clauses. We have Shade left in a hurry. So we have Shade as the subject. So we'll do something like this. Subject. And here we have verb. Shade, subject, left, verb. Whereas we can't say that for a phrase. Now this will take us to number 4 point. And number 4 point is that a phrase does not have a finite verb, but a clause has a finite verb. And a finite verb is that verb that shows agreement in terms of person, tense, and number. We are going to explain that very well. I say that it will have to show agreement in terms of tense, person, and number. So we say a finite verb is a verb that shows agreement with the subject in terms of number. When we talk about number, what do we mean? That's singular and plural. In terms of person, we talk about the first person, the second person, the third person. Now, and in terms of tense, we are looking at the present and the past tense. Here we have examples. We say John sings a song. John is one person, sings a song. Now we also have number 2. Say they have a car. There in the plural form, they have a car. So looking at it, we have a plural. So we have number 2, they have a car. They as a plural subject and a plural verb. When you look at these two sentences, there is an agreement. So we say that there should be an agreement in terms of number, person, and tense. Great minds of grade 3, we've come to the end of our lesson. Remember, we looked at differences between phrases and clauses. We say that a phrase is a group of words that does not make a complete sense, whereas a clause is a group of words that makes a complete sense. A phrase cannot stand on its own. A clause can stand on its own. A phrase does not have a subject and a verb, but a clause has a subject and a verb. And we now proceed to look at a phrase does not have a finite verb, a clause contains a finite verb. Having come to the end of our lesson, I'm going to give you a homework which you will do for me. Alright, so our homework for today is this. Write 3 differences between a phrase and a clause with an example each. So as you write your first point, give me an example, just one example. We will move to the next point, give me an example, and that is it. Alright, great minds, we've come to the end of our lesson today. Just stay safe and do your homework properly. Bye.